Okay, we're going to look at simple interest. I'm going to write a formula out here. A is equal to P plus I. This is like the common one they'll give you. A is equal to, they sometimes call it an amount. I usually refer to it as a future amount though, just so you know that this is kind of after interest has occurred, and occurred means like built up. P is a term for principal. So pull, and I never remember if it's LE or AL for principal, but this is like the initial amount you invest in something. So in finances, they call principal the amount you start with. I is actually equal to P, R, and T. So I is equal to 3 more letters. We already know what P is. R is your interest rate. Right, and T is equal to time. Okay, so a whole lot of stuff here. Let's go through the highlighting process to kind of help ourselves out. So A is equal to this future amount. P is the principal, and if you notice, P actually occurs there also. I, that's kind of like the total amount of interest earned. I know I didn't give it a definition, but it has 3 letters it's equal to. I'm going to get a couple more. Oh, I need like a color wheel. Do I get one? No. No, I do not. Oh, I can use red. R is the interest rate. Oh, I don't have enough colors to finish this. Very annoying. And you know what we'll do? Well, the one that's not colored in, T, is time. Perfect. Okay, worked out. What we want to do now is come up with some scenarios where you would have simple interest. And it's actually really rare in investing to be given simple interest. We're usually given something called compound interest. But we'll work with simple interest to start. So let's say that you have $100. 100 is a pretty simple number to work with, so we're going to start with that one. And a bank will give you an interest rate. Will give you 5% interest per year. It's really important you find out over what time frame. This is a ridiculous scenario. You'll very barely ever get a rate like that from a bank. You have $100. The bank will give you 5% interest a year, so these are kind of point form. And let's say you invest the money for 1 year to start. Okay, so for 1 year, you're going to put your money in. How much money will you have after a year? Okay, well, let's start figuring out these things. What is our principal? What is the amount we're starting with? Do you know?
100.
100, perfect. So here's our 100. We're going to start with that. So we go to build our formula. A is equal to $100. Now I'm not even going to write it out as I'm going to write it as the PRT, okay? So plus, and I'll put it in brackets. We already know it's 100, okay? Because that's our principal. We'd figured that part out. What was the interest rate they were going to give us?
5%.
5%. How do we make 5% a decimal? Do you recall?
0.05.
Yeah, that's right. You take the 5, divide it by 100, turns into a decimal of 0.05. So it's 100 times 0.05. And what was the timeline? How long were we investing for?
A year.
1 year. Now, important here, they were giving it to us per year. They could give it every 6 months, every 18 months, and that would change this. If it was every 18 months, then you'd use a fraction, but we're going to start with very simple stuff to start, okay? Here we go. We've got it. So now, what can we do with this? Well, we just got to calculate this. 100 times 1 is 100. 100 times 0.05 is actually 5. So we have 100 plus $5. So after 1 year, you'd have $105. Pretty simple idea. If we did 2 years, can you guess what we'd have?
205.
Well, we would just get another $5, so we'd have 110. Yeah, very simple interest. Compound interest is a little different. It builds on the amount before, so there's a lot of recalculating, but this is essentially simple interest. So let's say we invest for 10 years. I'll do it really quickly down here, the amount. So we'll put a number 1 here, so it lets us know that it was after 1 year. I'm going to put A after 10 years is 100 plus 100 times 0.05 times 10. That's actually going to be $50. And you'd have $150 after 10 years. Logically makes sense. That's very basic, simple interest, okay?